This story comes from NPR. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced Tuesday that the social media company, which owns Facebook and Instagram, would stop working with third-party fact-checking organizations. Repeating talking points long used by President-elect Donald Trump and his allies in a video, Zuckerberg said the company's content moderation approach resulted too often in censorship. This happened, by the way, the same week that Dana White, a man who beats his wife on tape, was appointed to the board of Meta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you're wondering how far shit is shifting to the right and how much like kissing of the ring is being done, Dana White, longtime friend and ally of Donald Trump, notorious man who beat his wife on camera, like a year ago? On tape? Didn't hurt him at all because those are the values the right holds. He's on the board now at Meta. Why? Because he's rich.
Yeah.
He's rich.
That's how those boards work. I got to say, too, they are going to follow a pattern put forth by Elon Musk. And mark my words, I'm going to make this prediction. In a year, I think that Meta, all the Meta space, will be probably maybe not as toxic, but close to as toxic as Twitter is. I think it will be close to as toxic. You're getting rid of fact checking, which their fact checking sucked. Okay, so I'm not going to say their fact checking was good, but fact checking also allowed for deletion of things.
Yes,
that's the one thing that's the difference, is that they're actually able to delete shit. So now, for instance, I saw a Twitter thread about this. One of the things that they suggested was like, one of the reasons why certain things like the January 6th thing wasn't as big is because it was deleted before January 6th. There was stuff that popped up. People said, no, we're not going to allow this because it's going to allow some sort of, people to gather in a way that is, we don't want to have happen. And so we're going to delete it. In this case, it would just fact check it. It would still be there, right? And so that's the real problem. Harm can still be there when it comes to like anti-trans stuff, right? So we know that trans people, that there's I think younger trans people, I don't know the exact statistics, but I know that I think it's younger trans people are more likely to inflict self-harm. And especially if they're rejected, right? If that sort of thing, if their true identity is not, if they're rejected. So like if you have these people who are hurting them and then there's some sort of, doesn't matter about community notes, if it doesn't get deleted, you have an opportunity to hurt more people and to cause more damage in the world because that stuff still exists there. It just happens to have a little note on it now.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think that this is it was not good before. It's still bad and it's going to get worse.
Yeah. And I feel like lately, this is just anecdotal bullshit, Facebook has gotten worse just over the last 6 or 8 weeks. I don't know if you've encountered the same thing. I have way more like, I didn't ask for this, random suggested pages and groups. And then the comments section seems wildly more vitriolic and hateful than I've seen in a long time. If you click on I actually sent this to the dads, like I think we may talk about it, but it was crazy. There was a New York Times picture when Ariana Grande and another woman, I forgot her name because I just didn't know her. She's an actress and I'm just bad at this. They are in the movie Wicked. And one or both of them were nominated for an award. I don't even remember the award. A Grammy maybe? I don't know. They were nominated for an award. That's the point. And there was a picture of them on the red carpet and they were like arm in arm. It's a very nice picture. I read the book Wicked. I thought the book was really cool. I'm actually pretty excited to see the movie. I clicked on the comments. My God, Cecil, the misogynist hate in the comments was blistering. Absolutely blistering for these two women. And I don't remember seeing that stuff on Facebook in that way. I mean, it was 1,000 or 2,000 comments. And like for every, what a talented group of ladies, there's 10 horrible comments about those women. It was bad. It's egregious. And I'm seeing more and more. It's not going to
get any better.
No, it's going to get worse.
It's not going to get any better.
Yeah.
They're going to continue to make a place that is less and less safe for people. And it's going to be it's going to feel less and less safe. It's going to feel more and more punishing to be there. They're going to do what Meta did, which is they're only going to attract trolls and people who want to hurt other people. And look at the exodus from Meta. There's going to be, or not from Meta, from Twitter. From Meta, there will be an exodus too. They're going to find another place to hang out. They're going to go somewhere else. They're not going to stay there. Mark my words, you're not going to see the people who are going to stay and try to like I don't think Facebook's worth fighting for anyway.
No, it's not.
Right? Like it's not worth fighting for. It's not anything. It's like at this point, my feed is one person I know and 30 videos I didn't ask for.
Yep.
30 videos from some place that wants to show me power washing, cabinetry, routering, and somebody dancing. And I didn't ask for any of those things.
Right,
I didn't want them. I didn't ask for them, but they're going to put them. And then there's cooking. Of course, there's like 6 other cooking videos in there. Street food to like somebody who's making something at home because I'm a cooking guy. So all in my feed is all these videos I never asked for. I never asked for your page, but they're just trying to they're trying to squeeze as much money as possible from all these ads and all these people who boost their pages so that they wind up in my feed, but I don't want to see them. I don't care. I don't want to see your shit. So I'm at this point now where I really do think, and mark my words, right? I could be wrong. Who knows? Mark Zuckerberg, my words. Here's the thing. You look in the future, I think it's going to do exactly what happened with Twitter. I think it's going to be the same type of place. It's going to be the same type of toxic environment. I think they're going to remove all the safeguards that are in there, all the ways in which you can report shit, et cetera. And it's going to be a less friendly place to go.
And the thing is, Meta products have always been dangerous products, intentionally so. There's been so many exposés, especially now with Instagram, of the way that Instagram and Instagram's algorithms are built to encourage child predation. There's not 1 or 2 exposés on this. There are so many exposés about the intentional writing of that code and people at Meta saying, hey, this isn't good, and then getting shut down, and then they don't put safeguards in place. These products were never built for your safety. They are always built as revenue generation machines. That's what they're always around. And if they're going to kiss the ring and kowtow, they're going to become that toxic Twitter. I totally agree. They're going to become, they might become worse than that. Who knows? It's going to be a place where we need to pack our bags and leave. Yeah. I've been thinking about this for a long time that it might be time to just download all your old photos and shit from there onto a USB drive or whatever you got to do, and then find a new digital home, because this ain't it anymore. It's becoming an increasingly weird space. And everybody's going to be, the next 4 years are going to be bleak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also positive in some ways. I hope that this shows people that when you let the capitalist motive of social media turn us into an attention economy, rip our data from us and sell that to other people so that they can keep selling other things that get in front of your eyes. And when we see capitalism wring all the fun out of any of these places constantly, maybe it'll wake us up to realize, I don't know, but maybe it'll wake us up to realize that these spaces, when they're polluted like this, are terrible. They're awful, terrible spaces, and they hurt us. And maybe what we do is we change all that moving forward once these collapse. I'm hoping that they collapse. I really am. All right, so I wanted to mention this week. So tomorrow, this show releases on Monday. On Tuesday, I am starting a new show with Michael Marshall from Skeptics with a K. And you've heard him on other things. He used to do a show called Be Reasonable. I'm sure you've heard him on Incredulous and on GAM and on other places.
He's been a guest Michael Marshall any number of times.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's been on our show multiple times. But Michael Marshall and I decided to start a show called the No Rogan Experience, KNOW. And we're going to be listening to Joe Rogan. The two of us will listen.
I love this.
We will critique certain portions of the Joe Rogan program. We're not going to be doing extensive coverage of everything Joe says. We'll be picking an episode and then sort of dissecting some of the things that he says. We'll be covering some of the logical fallacies that are used very often on his show. And then we also have a Patreon where we do sort of cover a grab bag of material from that same episode where we put it on the Patreon. You can find out about this show at knowrogan.com, KNOWROGAN.com. And of course, you can send a message to us here at Cognitive Dissonance and we can tell you where to find it. But if you just go search for the No Rogan Experience, KNOW, you'll find it in all your podcast players. I would love it if you gave it a listen. I think that this is going to be a really interesting show. I know a lot of people have said it's sort of in the vein of Knowledge Fight. It's a little different in the sense that both of us are not, there isn't a single expert and one sort of person who's maybe I guess, roasting it. We're not trying to be as roasty as we would be on this show. We're trying to dissect things and explain things. So if you are curious about what's happening on Joe Rogan and you're like, man, it's, he's really infiltrating the airways, but I just don't want to spend any time listening to him. You can listen to the show and we will give you the lowdown on at least one of his episodes a week. So I would really appreciate it if you gave it a listen. Just see if you like it. You can check it out. Like I say, knowrogan.com, KNOW.
And guys, I've had an opportunity to listen to a test episode and then part of another episode I just listened to today. This is a great show. The chemistry between you guys, I'm a little jealous, Cecil. It's 30 years of friendship. This
can't
is
recreate
great.
that.
You can't, replaced by a guy across the
can't recreate. I also just don't buy his accent. I'm just being honest.
The chemistry, the fun you guys have, the show is great. And I think the show is necessary. As soon as Cecil told me about this show, I immediately thought of people that I was like, holy shit, I want this show to exist so I can send it to this guy or so I can send it to that guy. Like this kind of work is important work to do. And it's Joe Rogan's the biggest bullhorn. Somebody needs to talk about that. And I'm glad you're doing it, man. It's a great show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We're really proud of it. So if you get a chance, please give it a listen. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this week. On Thursday, we'll be back with a long-form article about malicious, so don't miss that. But we're going to leave you like we always do with the Skeptic's Creed.
Credulity is not a virtue. It's fortune cookie cutter, mommy issue, hypno-Babylon bullshit. Couched in scientician, double bubble, toil and trouble, pseudo quasi alternative, acupunctuating, pressurized, stereogram, pyramidal, free energy healing, watered downward spiral, brain deadpan sales pitch, late night info docutainment. Leo, Pisces, cancer cures, detox, reflex, foot massage, death and towers, tarot cards, psychic healing, crystal balls, Bigfoot, Yeti, aliens, churches, mosques and synagogues, temples, dragons, giant worms, Atlantis, dolphins, truthers, birthers, witches, wizards.
You want to walk your little baby
Nuts.
It's around the block, you won't make it to the corner.
Shaman healers, evangelists, conspiracy, doublespeak, stigmata, nonsense. Expose your sides. Thrust your hands, bloody, evidential, conclusive. Doubt even this.
The opinions and information provided on this podcast are intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions are solely that of Glory Hole Studios, LLC. Cognitive Dissonance makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, currentness, suitability, or validity of any information, and will not be liable for any errors, damages, or butthurt arising from consumption. All information is provided on an as-is basis. No refunds. Produced in association with the local Dairy Council and viewers like you.